Hello everybody, my name is Tom Hughes. I'm the World-Class Manufacturing Lead for Zaptic. Today I have a short presentation which I recently presented at a digital symposium called How to Unleash the Potential of Your People Through World-Class Digital Connected Worker Solutions. In this presentation I'll cover a little bit of the context of where we are in manufacturing today and what could be holding us back, and then talk a little bit about how you can truly upgrade your digital skills and drive your business results through a connected worker solution. A little bit about myself. After working for almost 40 years in different companies in manufacturing, engineering, quality, the last several years in particular, I was creating, deploying IWS, the Integrated Work System of Procter & Gamble, which is the P&G way, to many different companies, both externally to P&G and internally, about how we can drive employee engagement, how we can drive zero loss culture in our business. And throughout that last several years in particular of running factories and operational excellence, one of the biggest complaints is there's too many whiteboards, there's too much paper. And since I retired and found Zapdik some 6-7 months ago, it really has become clear that the world has changed. The availability of simple, low-cost digital solutions for the shop floor are now available, which even 2 years ago, they were incredibly expensive and difficult to implement. So now with Zapdik, I'm sure we can give you some ideas and some concepts about how we can really unleash your people through smart, connected worker digital solutions. So this is me, just a quick one. You know, I love getting engaged with my people, and you can see on the left, me doing it AM step 1, and I'm using a paper tag. The problem with these, you used to fix them to the machine with plastic ties and then they'd fall off, or then you'd have to pick them, you'd put them in a spreadsheet, the spreadsheet would then go in your maintenance management system, the maintenance management system would then create a work order would then come back in a piece of paper, and then eventually maybe a week later the defect would get fixed. Wouldn't it be great if you could use what we use at home, a tablet or a mobile phone, to capture that live, to schedule it live, and to capture the knowledge, the tribal knowledge of the people who were looking at this and trying to understand where these defects are? Wouldn't it be great if you could do that at the point of use on the lines? Well, today you can, and the Zaptic system will help you do that. So let's go back, a little bit of context. So a couple of slides on that. We all have our world-class manufacturing operational excellence houses. In these houses is content. It is current best approaches, it's policies, it's procedures, it's standard work. It's how you get the work done and what you should do and how you should do it. Unfortunately, generates a lot of paper for people. So if there's a lot of paper around, people get confused, and if people get confused, they don't know what good looks like, they can't find the right standard at the right time. What happens? Defects, losses. And this is where we are. In reality, even though we have a huge manufacturing industry around the world, $12 trillion, still today, and this is fairly recent data, a lot of downtime, a lot of defects, and a lot of safety incidents are still linked to the inconsistencies of people, human error. Why? Because they don't have the right information at the right time, in the right point of use, on the line, and it's not clear, or it's out of date, or they just can't find it in a SharePoint or in a book. So this leads to defects, and we all get frustrated at this, and we can all start blaming the people for this. But in reality, the root cause is that they don't have the right information, which is clear and available to them at the right time that they need it. And we as leaders, we should feel bad about that. We should be saying, how can I serve my people? How can I unleash their potential? And I'll talk a little bit about servant leadership in a second. So the timing couldn't be better for Zaptic, and actually for you to start looking about how you can truly upgrade the digital skills of your people, because it's seen as a strategic imperative now. And in the past, capital equipment was very expensive. Leaders were focused, how can I get every case out of the door? But they often forgot that this equipment is run by people, and people are not going to go anywhere soon. Although there's a lot of talk of artificial intelligence and robotics, some industries will move faster than others, but workers are going to be running our machines and maintaining them and caring for them for at least 100 years, let's be perfectly honest. So how are we going to bridge this next 100-year gap and truly give the people that do the work and add the value every day on the line the right tool, the right information, the right standards, so it's clear and available at the point of use? That's what we need to do. We've spent many years with Lean doing poker yoke to pin, to weld, to make sure our equipment can only be changed over in one particular way. It's now time to poke-yoke our standard work processes, our daily management systems, and using a digital system to do that. And Zapdik is a simple system that you can use, and I can use today. And how do I know? Why am I confident? Because the world has changed. You can see here in 2020, 84% of UK adults own a smartphone, including me. I'm 60 years of age, so I'm near that end of that bracket. So you've got a huge amount of people who are very familiar with the use of digital smartphones, snapping QR codes, taking a picture of their loved ones. Now they can do that on the line with a defect, a loss, looking at a standard, reading a digital video or a description in a training file. Let's leverage what happens at home in work. Let's not be scared about bringing digitization into the work. Let's encourage it. Let's unleash the people to use what they're now comfortable with in a workplace environment. Because in reality, this is from a recent webinar, only literally last few weeks. You can see this very advanced use of standard work. They've even got a board there which says safety map always goes here, CIL always goes there. But unfortunately, one, it's paper. They have very sophisticated work point analysis, which is AM step 4. But if an operator wants to find that, where do they find it? They have to go to a book, they have to go to a SharePoint, they have to search. Which asset is it? Is it linked, effectively to the piece of equipment I'm working on right now? How can I see what's happened on this asset in front of me over the last 24 hours? We're still paper-driven, whiteboard-driven. How can we start, now we have our standard work process, to digitize them and underpin our continuous improvement process? Because right now, if we don't do that, we're going to be stuck in the left. We'll be in the red, fighting fires, defects still occurring every day, human error. The current state is, unfortunately, that's where we are in the vast majority of manufacturing. Not enough of our work is digitally enabled. Not enough of our work is standardized in the right way. And a lot of our skills and a lot of our tribal knowledge is still hidden in the minds and the brains of our people who do the work. How can we take that knowledge? How can we digitize that to help them to learn to do, to teach, and then digitize so that it can be shared openly with new people, with people of their team, with different shifts, with different platforms, different sites, and different industries eventually, if it's a true current best approach. Because one of the things we also were still stuck in is the hierarchical approach to leadership, especially in manufacturing. We're a little bit old-fashioned, let me be perfectly honest. And you may think this is unfair, but I truly believe from all the work I've done with over 50 companies in the last 7 years consulting on operational excellence, there's still a propensity to be top-down. We will direct instruct our frontline workers. What I'm saying is, like, flip that upside down. Let's talk about servant leadership, to say that as a leader of an organization, of a manufacturing factory, how can I truly enable my frontline workers? How can I ask them, engage, enable them, give them the digital tools to do their work more effectively on the shop floor every day? And I'll show you a little video of one of our clients who are doing that at the moment, to truly say, I'm here to serve, I'm here to enable these people. I'm going to give them the digital tools that helps them do their job every day, as well as all the other good stuff on training and capability and digital upskilling. This will drive your continuous improvement process. This is plan, do, check, act. We're all familiar with this. Driving the continuous improvement wheel up the wedge to drive losses out of your system. However, how often when we make a good improvement on the line, how often have we seen it fall back down? We try and wedge it with standard work. We try and wedge it with documentation. We try and wedge it with good one-point lessons. But unfortunately, unless you digitize all these processes, people won't be able to find them. They won't have the right up-to-date copy, and it will fall back and it will degrade over time. What we're trying to say as Zaptic is we know how to help your plan, your do, your check, and your act cycle. We know how to digitize. We know what sequence of work you should follow. And over time, we can help drive your continuous improvement process faster and more completely and deeper into your organization. Here's a little example from Carlsberg. They started very focused on the basic daily management system. This is called tagging or defect finding. So if you find a loss on a line, how do you capture it? How do you visualize it? How do you solve it? And how do you share that knowledge and capability across the rest of your organization? This is a quote from Carlos. This has been a great benefit and a great boon to Carlsberg. And they're now adding other user cases to the armory as we digitize more and more processes for them and with them. Short video. There's no voiceover, so this is someone using a tablet doing a base condition check on a conveyor. They said there was no defects. They press the green button, off they go. If they found a red defect, it would be automatically visualized on their boards, which could be then prioritized, or a work order be raised automatically through an integrated activity. A mobile phone, it becomes a tool. It's sitting in your toolbox. If you find a defect, rather than write it down on your clipboard, you take a picture, you take a video, you press the button, it goes into the defect log, that automatically gets transferred to your work order program and then can be visualized, prioritized, and solved. Because one of the biggest problems you will find with your people, if they find a defect and it's not fixed and they come back to work the following day and that defect is still there and it's causing downtime or stops or quality or safety issues, then they feel frustrated. You will not engender a culture of continuous improvement if you truly do not find and fix these losses, these defects in a rapid way. Digitization is a way of truly driving that continuous improvement PDCA cycle much faster than you've seen in the past. So where does Zaptic fit in the enterprise stack? Well, truly, Zaptic is a single pane of glass. This is where we're moving to over the next 18 months. So you have your Zaptic system, which is your single pane of glass for your operators, technicians. You have your machines, and then you have your various systems that you've spent probably millions of pounds on ERP, CMSs, MESs, quality systems. This is not about replacing your single source of truth. This is about how you link into Zaptic. So what you create and capture in Zaptic can be pushed back in either direction and then brought in eventually as we do API integrations into the Zaptic system, so that you only have to look in one place when you are finding a loss or doing a work process or following a standard. And then you can visualize these things in boards with analytics to drive trends and continuous improvement in your business. Zaptic has a digital roadmap. Behind this is obviously a feature roadmap too, but this is very high level. I won't go through any of this in any detail apart from saying phase one is where you start. We know what to do. We know how to do it. We can guide you and help you and coach you in this business about how to get started on this Industry 4.0 digitization journey, especially around the foundation of standard work, basic work systems. And you can see we know by starting with the basics that can help the people on the line, the connected worker, by connecting their daily work to a digital system, you get high usage of the system, high acceptance of the system. By people see that what they're doing is important. They see that when they find a problem, a loss, it can be shared, it can be captured, it can be prioritized, and it can be fixed. And then once you've got this foundation, it only takes about 12 months, you can drive up into harvesting this energy, this digital skills, this self-authoring, which I'll talk about in the next process, to digitize even more use cases in the future before you grow to the high levels of digitization where you can truly leverage and get the benefit from things like wearables and artificial intelligence. Because if you start doing that in phase one, you'll be doing it on a process that's not stable, is not known, is not comfortable. So you really need to give yourself a roadmap of a couple of years to truly leverage those high level digital type techniques and technologies. So this is what we do. So this is the Zaptic system. We digitize the factory workflows with you. We help you execute and problem solve using this paperless data capture. We visualize these because you're now capturing them digitally so that you can apply your process, your analytics, and you can share these best practices across teams, across sites. But going back to the digitizing the factory workflow, this is not us doing it for you, it's doing it with you and helping your, what we call super users, become totally competent on the Zaptic apps and systems so they can no-code workflow author themselves. They create it themselves. With our help, we guide you through the several processes. They're a very rigorous pilot process. And then we really try to help you become self-sufficient over a 6-month period so that you can start truly authoring your own work processes day in, day out. Pardon me. So the benefits, I'm sure you will see, and this is just from comments and quotes from some of our clients. First of all, total productive maintenance. Why is that sped up? This is where you're using AM/PM in your businesses. You're really capturing clean, inspect, and lubrication. You're establishing base conditions. one client has seen this sped up. They believe it's going to go from 3 years to 2 years for a site to be truly within the first good levels of TPM. In that, because you're fixing losses and defects, your OEE will go up. You'll have less breakdowns, less stops, less quality defects, less safety issues. So by digitizing your standard work processes, your daily management, you're going to see a throughput. And this is a very clear increase in key performance indicators. You're going to get productivity increase. People will not be spending time double entry into systems, finding a piece of paper, trying to look at a 1-point lesson, going into an operator book, trying to write down in longhand what a defect looks like. Snap picture, put it in the system, boom, off it goes, solve the problem. It speeds up and gives you a productivity saving. It also helps you get value from your digital response. Given the value and how much this costs to implement in a business, I fully believe that within 6 months you'll pay back any investment that you make. Okay, I know that's a broad statement, but you will get fast returns on investment from the Zaptic and digital system. And then very importantly, about capturing the tribal knowledge of the Zaptic system over time, you can then onboard people faster, you can capture that tribal knowledge so with people leaving and retiring, you don't lose it, and truly then be able to share that with other team members, both in-site and on-site in future as you go forward. And this is one example of what it could look like. On the left is the old system, the whiteboards, the colored pens, the piles of shipped logbooks. On the right is using the digital Zaptic system. You've now captured that all in mobile devices. You're visualizing it on boards, either on the line or in the team rooms, and you're able to then apply analytics to it. So you find these actions, you close them much more quickly than you have in the time, and you save time and money. So if you want to know some more, please feel free to contact us on zaptic.com. We'd love to speak to you, and we can help you talk about how you can take this journey to unleashing the power of your people and truly upskilling the digital skills of all your employees so that they enjoy their work and feel that they're being served and developed as a truly valuable asset and valuable resource for your business. So thank you very much. It's been great today. Thank you.